All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see for its local search and for its city search if it is they got BSS, yes or no for either or both of them. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers, make them the number one boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. Look at the pinned post, pinned video, home video, whatever, where we talk more about that. I focus on FSIC because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our intent spectrum here, way on the left highest intent, way on the right lowest intent. So if a boudoir photography business is rising, they're most likely bringing in everyone from this entire intent spectrum, from highest to lowest intent. And if we got a boudoir photography business that is falling, most likely we are missing chunks of people somewhere here on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on BSS, way on the left, the highest intent peeps. This is social search, Google search, searching for boudoir photo shoot in my in your city. And way over on the right, that's our sister brand. Got different profiles for that. Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. That's where we're talking about BLCS getting in front of the lowest intent people in our city, which are actually the largest volume of peeps. And right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers spending more than $10,000 a month on boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. This one, a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, 0 slots. I mean, we're down to fast death here because we know that approximately 80% of boudoir or of Google searches never go to page 2. They are page 1 only searches. So literally, it's approximately 80% of searches. That's obviously the bulk of the market. So the bulk of the market never even sees page 2. So yeah, not good to be there. 1 slot on page 1 is also not good enough. Because if there's 10 organic slots, if there's 9 other boudoir photographers, everyone's got a slot. That means a buyer's just clicking everyone's link, contacting everyone. That could be, 9 other competitors price shopping us, price comparing us. So 1 slot, and we don't even look any different than anyone else. So 1 slot is simply not enough. And 0, 1 slots on page 1 in Google is actually not normal. Extremely common, accepted, but actually not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. So to have so few page 1 slots on Google is not normal. And the 2 deeper root causes causing this are A, market saturation, and B, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, yeah, everyone knows that. Over time there's more and more boudoir photographers entering the market. It's because whenever anyone gets a new iPhone, they throw up their Google My Business profile, throw up a website. Now they compete in page 1 organic search with us with their website, saying that they do boudoir photo shoots. Also, if anyone gets a camera, now they're posting in the mom Facebook group saying they do boudoir photo shoots. Lower prices, lower margins from everyone, and actually making it harder for all the sellers. So there's more sellers to the same number of buyers, makes it harder for all the sellers. And B, the false belief of page 1 equality. Dude, this is the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is, to believe page 1 equality is to believe, yeah, every boudoir photographer gets like 0, 1 slots on page 1, and if you had 1 slot on page 1, then a new boudoir photographer came in, now they're on page 1, you got bumped down on page 2. It's kind of like, oh, that's how it is. That's how it is. And nobody's taking any effort to correct it. It's not normal to be kicked off of, to stay on page 2 and have 0 slots on page 1. It's not normal to have even 1 slot on page 1. It's been accepted that everyone gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's simply how it is. Incorrect. And I know it's incorrect because I went from 0 out of 1 slot, 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 for my desired keyword in 10 days. We'll see pictures of that in a few pics. So people accepting the false belief of page 1 equality, well, they accept that as true. Number 1 killer boudoir photography businesses from what I've seen. And we also know that a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we're building up our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1 equality, the false belief of page 1 equality. Think that there's nothing we can do. It's kind of like we believed it was true, we auto accepted it, we didn't even question it. So we're kind of like mentally in a box. So we couldn't even, punch through the box to see, oh, there is a solution out there. And thankfully, we have that solution. We have it because we invented it. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. It is exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest buyer intent keywords for people who want to buy a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And when we saturate social search with those keywords, what actually happens is there's kind of like the small little streams on the backside of the Andes Mountains that then flows into the large Amazon River, which is page one on Google. So if we successfully saturate social search, then it is, and if we keep saturating it, it's inevitable we'll eventually take as many slots on page Google as we want, depending on how much effort we want to put in. Now, what is amazing about SQ methodology is the only thing that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight back against market saturation with relatively quick results. Obviously, the one thing, as always, is brand. I can fight back against market saturation, but dude, that takes 5 years, 10 years. We ain't got that time anymore. AI is coming, taking people's jobs. We literally do not have the time. We need something that gets faster results. Faster results. Give me the faster results. We ain't got time to build a brand. But also, SQ methodology helps us to build a brand faster and quicker than anyone else, any other method available elsewhere. So it's kind of a a double bonus using SQ methodology. So here's how it fights back market saturation. Let's say we're in Seattle, Washington. There's a million boudoir photographers. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. They're a boudoir photographer. Everyone's competing to rank page one on Google. So we crank up SQ'd methodology to the maximum. And what we actually do is we rank for the highest intent keywords across social search, for the first 300 slots. And so if people search those keywords, for boudoir photo shoot in Seattle on social, the first 300 slots are taken up by us. And as a result, let's say that flows onto Google as well, and it dominates. We're taking the first 300 slots on Google as well. And so anytime anyone in our city searches on social or Google, dude, literally the first 30 pages on Google, at least, they can only find us because it's basically like 10 organic slots per page, and literally 30 pages full of us. And it's our competitors literally got to go to page 31 to even find us in the first place. And dude, we already know 80% of searchers don't even go to page two. They're page one only, so they ain't going to page 31. And so we're essentially the only one that boudoir photo shoot buyers can find, which means whose business is growing? Our business is growing because we're dominating search everywhere for the highest intent keywords. People searching for boudoir photo shoots now, in Seattle now. We're closest to the money now. And we're growing. Everyone else is disappearing. They're shrinking. And again, that's the only thing that I've seen that successfully can outcompete market saturation in the short term and in the long term, because this actually turns into brand in the long term anyways. So this is some magic stuff we got here. Now, once true with SQ'd methodology, we have page one visibility. And a bonus of this is we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Because again, approximately 80% of Google searches never even make it to page two. They're page one search only. So more people we kick off, more buyers never even see them, the fewer boudoir photographers we've been price shopped against. Awesome. That's kind of an extra initial benefit from utilizing SQ'd methodology. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And our GBC recommended level is to hit a minimum of 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google, because that means we're kicking out 2 or 3 boudoir photographers from page one we can be price shopped or compared against, that are 80% of buyers ain't ever going to see them anyway, because they ain't never going to hit page two. And so if we got 3 slots on page one, we're looking way better than all those that have 1 slot, which is basically going to be everyone else. Going to look way more trustworthy. Kind of subconsciously, buyers going to think, oh, why is Google recommending this person 3 times? We better check them out, and maybe not even check out the other people on page one. And then 3 slots better than 2 slots, because yeah, there's a small chance another competitor may have 2 slots on page one. But if we successfully outcompete them, dude, guess what? I mean, if we got 3 slots, we're looking better than them anyway. So we're looking better than all competitors with 0 slots or 1 slot or 2 slots. We're looking way better than that. That's boudoir search visibility. We also know that boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, BSV, is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. This is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation, the dual horns, market saturation, and page one, the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. Thankfully, we now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility and we become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself, because yes, I invented it. I want to rank for the keyword BLCS boudoir. Okay, I used it over 10 days. My results got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. No website necessary. And so I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search in 10 days, purely by using S-cubed methodology. All right, now to our main event here. We're going to check this boudoir photography business, see if it has BSS, see if they're hitting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for local Washington, D.C. Well, technically that's city, and then region. All right, so the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. All right, so region should actually be way more competitive than what we've normally seen. All right, let's go to D.C. All right, so let's see what we got. All right, we got 0 out of 10 here for city search. Let's go to DMV area. All right, so we got 0 out of 10 for both. So we got BSS for both the city search and the regional search, and we got we're not hitting the recommended GBC yet. GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for either of these searches as well. All right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search, your city local searches, city searches with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got 0-1 slots for any of them, at least one of them, and or you're not reaching the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for at least one of them, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. So you know we can actually take as many slots on page 1 Google search as we want. Then, well, Andrew's saying S-cubed methodology is the only solution to give you those slots, and it's actually something you've been waiting for. And you're loving the initial benefits, more slots, page 1 Google search, kick in competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, relegating them to page 2 or page 3 or deeper, and never actually having to kind of deal with them as competitors anymore, making them disappear to approximately 80% of Google searches, so approximately 80% of the market. And you understand the market saturation, yeah, more peeps buy new gear eventually become boudoir photographers, yeah, they kind of trickle in over time. But you're looking ahead and you're seeing, okay, AI is taking peeps jobs right now, and AI is definitely going to get better and better, so it's going to take more and more peeps jobs over time. And you understand, last time that happened, lots of peeps lost their job. COVID, massive wave of boudoir photographers came into the marketplace. They're like, uh-oh, massive market saturation's coming, and you're realizing you actually need to fortify your position on page 1, which means have so many links that Google wants to rank on page 1 that there's not enough space to rank them all. So you're actually link stuffing page 2, 3, 4 onward, and basically guarantee no current boudoir photographer can get onto page 1, and basically no future boudoir photographer that comes after AI takes their job can ever get onto page 1. And you're saying, well, how to get that many links? Well, you're saying, oh, S-cubed methodology, that's the only solution. I can give you that fortification. And you're also understanding that when we successfully execute S-cubed methodology every single day, we're actually creating like these invisible thematic keyword columns that are plugging into our brand, like kind of 360 degrees around our brand. And these are building up back-end keyword AI mindshare for the the AI systems, AI searchers out there. And so every day we do this, successfully execute methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up here in AI overview. The most premium placement, we cannot purchase this. And so that's a future benefit of SQ methodology. Another future benefit of SQ methodology is we are actually higher probability that we show up in AI search. So ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Google, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. And this is huge. Increasing its probability every single day is huge because more and more people using AI search every single day. Last time I did AI search for boudoir photographer in a city, I actually looked and it recommended me 3. So I went to look manually on Google and Facebook. Hey, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city? Dude, there's like 60. So if AI is only recommended 3, we gotta get there. We gotta have so much back end AI keyword mindshare momentum that AI has to give recommend those positions to us. And you're also like the fact that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So you're like, and yeah, you can get all these benefits, but also you can prevent your competitors from getting all these benefits, allowing you to build up a massive like AI mindshare gap, back-end AI keyword mindshare gap for the increased probability of recommended through AI overview and recommended through AI search. And you can actually deny your competitors getting that. So basically, you're able to build up a massive gap between you and your competitors and basically make it so big that current competing boudoir photographers can never achieve it or reach it, and future boudoir photographers can never that come in after AI takes their jobs can never catch you. So you decide you're a first mover on this, you can't miss out, and you actually want you're thinking conversely, if some other peeps, if one of your competitors were to get on the sign up with me first, you would actually lose out on all the benefits. Your competitor would begin all these links page 1. Have so many links page 1, there'd actually be overflown to the future page 2, 3, 4. You would be relegated to page 2 or deeper, and we would obviously have the goal of making you have no chance to ever get to page 1. And then we'd be building a massive keyword, back-end AI keyword, kind of momentum, mindshare, to get recommended AI overview, Google search, and with all the AI search apps. And for you to compete, you'd actually have to go rederive S-cubed methodology on your own, and you'd never have any idea if you've derived it. Well, you'd have to drive it for the first time for yourself. You'd never know if you successfully 100% derived it correctly. And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. And if you did that, you'd simply be maintaining the gap that we've already massively built ahead of you. And then once that happens, you would actually have to 2 to 3x our execution every single day to start closing that gap and pulling that back-end AI mindshare away from me and your competitor's brand back towards you. But since you're not even 100% confident you've derived it correctly in the first place, it's hard to put in that much effort, something you're not confident in. And when you actually think about it, you're like, dude, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this stuff? So you decide, screw that. You're actually going to be the first mover in your city, get all these benefits. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open our DMs for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify.